Have you ever promised yourself, I'll start working out tomorrow, and then hit snooze and went back to sleep? Yeah, me too. Until I actually started a 30-day morning workout challenge, and the result? It completely changed the way I start my day. I set one simple rule: wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. Spend at least 20 minutes moving. It could be jogging, push-ups, planks, or just stretching. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just have to show up. I wanted to know, can 30 days of a small, consistent habit really change my energy, my mindset, and even my life? Before we jump into the challenge, if you're also on a journey to become the best version of yourself, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Let's grow together every week. Week 1, the morning nightmare. The first few days were a real challenge. Every morning when my alarm went off at 6 a.m., my first instinct was to turn it off. My body felt like lead, my mind was foggy, and the thought of getting out of bed already felt exhausting. There were mornings when I just sat on the edge of the bed, staring blankly and asking myself, what am I even doing? But I still forced myself to stand up. Every squat, plank, and push-up made my whole body ache, as if it wanted to give up. My heart raced, my breath grew heavy, and sweat poured down after just a few minutes. Sometimes I wanted to quit right there. Why was I doing this to myself when I could just stay wrapped in my warm blanket for another hour? And yet, after just a few days, something began to change. My body was still sore, but my mind felt sharper. I didn't need coffee to wake up anymore, and that sluggish feeling that used to last until noon slowly disappeared. Each time I finished a 20-minute workout, a small wave of pride washed over me. I realized my biggest enemy wasn't sleepiness, but laziness, and that quiet voice saying, "It's okay, you can start tomorrow." Every morning I got up on time, it felt like I was winning a small battle against myself. And that feeling, tiny as it was, felt powerful. When muscle soreness hit, I no longer feared it. I knew my body was adapting, responding to my effort. Even though it was only the first week, I could already feel it. Every morning I overcame meant I was getting one step closer to a better version of myself. Week 2, my body starts to adapt. After a week of battling sleepiness and that constant voice in my head complaining, something unexpected happened in week 2. I no longer had to force myself out of bed. My body started waking up on its own, even before the alarm went off. Instead of feeling tired, I felt light. The morning grogginess slowly faded away, replaced by a calm, natural alertness I'd never felt before. Mornings were no longer a fight for survival. They became something I actually looked forward to. The quiet air, the soft sunlight seeping through the window, and the sound of birds outside made me feel like I was beginning again. A real fresh start. I started changing my routine, a few minutes of deep breathing to warm up, a light jog around the house, and some basic yoga to finish. It only took about 20 to 25 minutes, but my body could feel the difference. My heartbeat steadied, my breathing deepened, and my mind felt unusually alive. After each session, I could almost feel dopamine flooding through my body, that happy energy that made me smile for no reason at all. I began to realize that exercise wasn't just about looking fit or losing weight. It was about awakening my mind, about resetting my energy before the day truly began. Even my productivity changed. I could focus better, get into the zone faster, and finish tasks I used to procrastinate on. That's when I understood the human body is incredible. If you give it time and consistency, it will adapt. And during that second week, I truly felt it. I was no longer forcing myself to exercise. I was genuinely enjoying it. Week 3, a shift in the mind. By the third week, I realized the biggest change was no longer in my body, but in my mind. My body had already adjusted to the morning rhythm, but it was my mind that was being trained the most. I started feeling like I had control over my day from the very first moment I opened my eyes. No more sluggishness, hesitation, or endless snoozing. Instead, there was clarity, confidence, and a quiet readiness to move. Each time I finished a workout, it felt like I had just won another battle against myself. Tasks I used to put off, cleaning my room, finishing my writing, planning my day, now came naturally right after exercising. I no longer needed external motivation. That inner burst of energy after every morning session became my own fuel for the day. One morning, as I stood on the balcony watching the sunrise, the golden light spilling over a quiet neighborhood, it hit me. Those 30 minutes of movement each morning were slowly reshaping my entire rhythm of life. Everything felt calmer, more intentional, and I was no longer rushing through my days. I was present. I worked with more focus, less emotional noise. Whenever pressure came, I'd take a deep breath and remember how I felt after a good workout. Strong, grounded, calm. Morning exercise had become more than a routine. It was a ritual for the mind, a daily reset, to recharge my energy, clear my thoughts, and start the day with purpose. And I finally understood. Physical change is just the surface. What truly transforms you is the discipline, the persistence, and the quiet joy of showing up for yourself every single morning. When the mind changes, everything else follows, and it all begins with just 30 minutes a day. Week 4, reflection and transformation. The final week of the challenge came more gently than I expected. There was no more forcing myself out of bed, no more I have to work out. Everything started to flow naturally. I didn't even need an alarm anymore. My body woke up on its own, almost eager to move. The exercises that once left me breathless now felt familiar, almost rhythmic, a part of my daily life. Working out was no longer a task. It had become a habit, even a need for both body and mind. After 4 weeks, my weight dropped slightly, but the biggest change wasn't in the number on the scale. I slept deeper, woke up lighter, no more morning grogginess or heavy head. My mind felt clearer, my thoughts sharper, and my energy steady throughout the day. I realized those quiet morning workouts weren't just strengthening my body, they were cleansing my mind, setting the tone for calm and focus that lasted all day long. Emotionally, I was different too. I was less irritable, less reactive. When stress hit, instead of grabbing my phone to scroll or complain, I stood up, took a deep breath, stretched my shoulders, and somehow the tension melted away. I began to understand that movement isn't just physical, it's how we release negative energy, how we heal ourselves in the most natural way. Looking back on these 30 days, I saw a real transformation, from someone who always said, "I don't have time," to someone who makes time for themselves. I realized that exercise isn't just about muscles, it's a lesson in discipline, self-respect, and perseverance. From those early, exhausting mornings, I learned how to listen to my body, appreciate each breath, and honor every drop of sweat. And maybe, the most valuable thing I gained wasn't a better body, but the feeling of truly being in control. Starting from just 30 minutes every morning. Results after 30 days. After 30 days, I didn't become an athlete. I didn't get six-pack abs or superhuman endurance. But I became a different version of myself, more disciplined, stronger, and more confident. My body felt lighter, more flexible, and full of energy. Each morning, I no longer woke up tired or unmotivated. Instead, I looked forward to starting the day with a few familiar moves, a quiet ritual that grounded both my body and my mind. My thoughts became clearer, my focus sharper, and my emotions more balanced. But above all, I realized something powerful. The magic doesn't come from how hard you train. It comes from consistency. Every morning, I got up and pushed past laziness. Whether it was a 10-minute jog or a few push-ups, that was a victory. A small one, yes, but repeated every day for 30 days, it completely changed how I saw myself. I learned that real change doesn't come from giant leaps, but from small, steady actions done every single day. It doesn't matter if you start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or just one stretch. What matters is that you start. Morning exercise didn't just make me stronger. It taught me the most valuable lesson of all. As long as you start, even for just 5 minutes a day, you're already becoming the person you want to be. And maybe every journey of self-growth begins the same way. At the moment, you decide to get up and take action. And that was my 30-day morning workout journey. Do you dare to try it yourself? Comment, "I'll try," if you're ready to start your own journey, starting tomorrow morning. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so I'll have more motivation to share even more self-growth challenges with you.